Hey everyone, I'm Tom Taylor and I'm an account director here at RocketMill, and today I'm going to talk to you about pride in marketing. And I'm not talking about the pride, pleasure and satisfaction that we all get here when we land an incredible campaign. I'm talking about LGBT Pride in this instance, and the way that various brands and businesses all choose to try and get involved with the movement every summer, rightly or wrongly so. We'll have a look at that. And I think it'd be useful if we just start with a definition, just in case there's anyone in the audience or anyone on our YouTube channel, shout out to you guys, who aren't 100% confident with what this might mean. So LGBT is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, LGBT organisations and subcultures, and we're all united by a common culture and a common social movement together. You might sometimes see it as LGBTQ, and the Q is queer. That's added on the end sometimes as a sort of catch-all, just to make sure that everyone who might feel they're not defined by anything in that list is also included. And as a gamer myself, summer is my favourite time of year, and it's not just because the weather improves. This year, still waiting for that, but it does get better. It's the time of year when all around the world, people from the LGBT community, we celebrate Pride, and we do that with our allies as well. And we attend Pride events like this one. I believe this might be Amsterdam, I'm not too sure. We attend them to celebrate our diversity, to increase our visibility as a social group, to show we want to be seen, we want to be heard, and also just celebrate with our allies as well about getting equal rights. And if any of you have been to one of these events, which I'm sure a lot of you will have gone to Brighton or perhaps even London Pride, Brighton's in 2 weeks, you'll see that there's rainbows absolutely everywhere that you look. And the rainbow is our symbol for identity, our symbol for solidarity, and you'll see absolutely everywhere that you look. You might have seen that Brighton College, when you were walking here, has got a big marquee down the side at the moment, which looks awesome. And the rainbow is, we basically see this all the time, us LGBT people. We don't just see it around Pride, we see it almost every day. We might see it in gay bars, LGBT-friendly bars that we go to. We'll see it in the LGBT media that we consume, so niche news sites or apps that we use. And we'll also see it all year round in ads that are targeted to us as a demographic that can be targeted on digital media. So summer is an interesting time of year though, because the rainbow starts to appear in a slew of unfamiliar environments as well outside of these. So now not just our gay bars, but maybe in the local Wetherspoons when we go to a curry club on Thursday with Chaz. Not just on our LGBT-friendly sites or niche media sites that we use, but we'll start to see run-of-site takeovers like this one that was on Google, I think about a month ago, something like that. And not just the ads which targeted to us as a demographic that can be targeted, but suddenly brands will start to dress up their logos in rainbow outfits for everyone to see as well. So summer is the sort of like the season of the rainbow. You see it everywhere and you can't get away from it. It's amusing though, because sometimes the rainbow appears in a brand's campaign and it's quite shamefully a blatant attempt to jump on a topic that is relevant at the moment to create brand awareness. And there's a very fine line to tread between sort of jumping on a bandwagon of a cultural event for monetary gain. And then some brands who do it well, they launch a meaningful and impactful marketing campaign which will perhaps challenge people's perceptions of LGBT people and the issues that they face. And today I'm going to talk to you about this, and there's an incredibly intelligent lady called Lindsay Lohan, and she once said, "I've met a lot of people in my time, never gays, I'm smart like that." And she was right. A lot of people pay close attention to what brands do and what they say and the stances that they take against political issues like this. And a survey actually found that LGBT people and their allies pay close attention to brands around Pride, and 70% of them said that a brand's stance on LGBT issues has had a direct impact on whether they did or didn't buy from that brand. So it's very powerful stuff. And there's more of us than you think. If you had all of the LGBT people in the world in one country, not only would it be f***ing fabulous, it would have it would have the 5th largest GDP of all countries in the world. So we've got a lot of spending power as well. So that's it, you're sold. You want to get involved, you want to tap into this undervalued market. I've got 3 tips for you to make sure that it flies and is successful. And those are: play to your strengths, consult LGBT people, and basically just do something. This is your time to shine. Do something that genuinely impacts our community. Actions do speak louder than words. and I'll show you some great examples too. So number one, play to your strengths. Think about your market, think about how you can get involved, think about your niche, think about what you can do. This year, ASOS, doing what they do best, launched this absolutely sick range for Pride, and they teamed up with GLAAD, who are a lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual, queer charity. And all the profits from this line go, 100% of the profits, they go to LGBT causes like GLAAD. And they've committed to donate 100% of that profit. And the reason this is so great is because every year you see that during summer, so you can see summer last year and summer this year, there's a huge spike in people looking for their outfits for Pride, whether that's London Pride, Bristol Pride, Brighton Pride, Manchester Pride. And I'd much rather that people buy this and 100% of the profits go to a relevant charity than buying some of this god-awful tap that you'd find if you went on Google Shopping, where it's probably some guy selling it off the back of a van and not giving anything back to the LGBT community. And another great example of this is United Airlines. I was listening to Gadio last year, which is a station for LGBT people to listen to UK-wide. Check it out, the music is sick. And they ran some ads where they were talking about their support for London Pride Week. And as well as that, they had a complimentary website, and it had a list of all of the LGBT-friendly destinations in their roster as well, list of attractions that you can go see that are relevant to our culture. It was a great way to complement that campaign, and they took people all over the world to places in their roster to show them LGBT sites. And I just felt like it was a really great campaign in the way that they thought about how they could offer something and give something quite useful. Personally, when I fly to a different country that's quite far away, I will always check what their stances are on LGBT people, because it's genuinely quite frightening. You don't know what you're going to get into. Resources like that are incredibly useful. So no matter who you are, whatever brand you are, whatever you sell, you do have a strength, and you can definitely find something useful to offer the community. So find your strength, own it, and mean it. Easy. So number two, consult us, consult LGBT people. In a people-first world of marketing, we all know that you have to focus on your consumer, your audience. That is the thing that you need to know. And if you don't, then just do some research, understand if the tone of your campaign is going to land well, and do this especially if you're going to flirt with a topic that is poignant and political, especially. If it doesn't land right, you're going to dent your brand and offend people. Can you imagine if there was a black person on the board at Pepsi who signed off marketing campaigns? They would never, ever have signed off this campaign. It's so offensive to people of colour and just really does not appreciate the struggle that they go through. So think about who the audience are. Similarly, this year, there was a few Pride campaigns that left people scratching their heads, and this mouthwash definitely made a splash. Come on, like, what is this? This is weird, it's irrelevant, I don't get it. Unlike the United Airlines example, which offered something genuinely useful for their market, Listerine just appeared to be quite lazy, and they've just sort of slapped a rainbow on an existing product and just sort of hoped for the best. I find it hard that that idea was floated by LGBT people. So just run a focus group or something, and you'll be fine. So number three, actions speak louder than words, and actions definitely speak louder than rainbows as well. It's your time to actually do something and give something back to the LGBT community, which benefits them. You could do things that don't cost a thing, like promote discussion around the issues that we face, or offer local peer support to charity groups and minority groups, or donate to LGBT charities. Just do something. If you simply slap a rainbow flag on your logo during Pride and hope for the best, the community are going to see right through you, and you're going to get tons of shade on Twitter, just like this. So the Home Office were one of the tons of brands this year who chose to rainbow-ify their logo for Pride during Pride Month in June. And this gesture was just enragingly shallow, really. Our community are extremely aware that the Home Office have a very poor track record in supporting us. They will very regularly extradite people back to countries where homosexuality is a crime or even punishable by death. So this got a lot of backlash. On the other hand, this is the shining beacon here, Paddy Power. They are a company who didn't just slap a rainbow on it. I mean, they kind of had, but they did more. They actually put their money where their mouth is, literally. And they did all sorts of campaigns around football events last year, which were awesome. So as you all know, World Cup hosted in Russia last year. Russia has got an appalling attitude towards LGBT people and support for their basic human rights. Since February in 2017, it's been reported that tons of LGBT people have gone missing. They've been abducted, they've been transported to concentration camps, they've been tortured and even killed just for being gay, and authorities have turned a blind eye to this. So along comes Paddy Power, and in the cheeky tone of voice that they're known for, they pledged to donate £10,000 to LGBT charities for every goal that the Russian team scored in the World Cup. So basically they forced them into becoming LGBT activists without them even knowing, and I thought it was great. Got a little video about the campaign here and what it was all about.
Russia, the host of the 2018 World Cup. But what's the first thing that pops into your mind when you think about the world's largest country? Vodka? Big furry hats? Even Drago? Serious-looking lads with big beards? Unfortunately, there's something else that springs to mind when people think of Russia. Russia has acquired an ugly reputation for homophobia. If Putin won't pull his finger out to help, Paddy Power will do it for him. We're making accidental allies of the home nation, and in conjunction with the Attitude Foundation, tackling homophobia in sport. We'll donate £10,000 for every goal Russia score at the 2018 World Cup, and we'll guarantee a minimum donation of £50,000. The money will be used to work to make football LGBT+ accessible, to challenge LGBT+ prejudice on and off the field, to support footballers and those in the game in coming out, to fund educational programs in schools and colleges, and to make grassroots teams safe spaces for LGBT+ players. We want to help tackle homophobia in football, and what better place to do it? Paddy Power, enough of the nonsense.
So yeah, incredible campaign. They've stuck to all three rules there. They gained a lot of brand attention off the back of this, and they raised £170,000 for LGBT causes. And not only that, again, they've gone one step further and thought about their market and what they can offer. And those charities at the end then, the causes they were supporting, are really poignant and topical. So super smart campaign, right? So those are the three tips. Stick with them and you'll be safe. So Pride is an amazing time because it's periods where the LGBT community, we see support from outside our regular haunts and tribes. And it's also a time that we need to remember there's still a lot of work to be done. If you do a brief Googling of LGBT rights globally, it's quite scary reading. All the countries on this map that are orange or light red, they criminalise homosexuality with years-long prison sentences. And the countries in dark red will give you the death penalty for being gay. And even in the UK, which has comparatively progressive attitudes towards LGBT people and their rights, while putting together this deck a few weeks ago, just on BBC News' front page, there were two stories here which were highlighting homophobia in our own country. Just a heads up, we've got some sort of distressing images coming up. A lot of you will remember this story about the lesbian couple on a bus in Camden. They were savagely beaten up on their way home just because they were gay by a group of teenagers. And the story got a lot of traction in the media. It was all over the news, different outlets. It got a lot of people talking. I heard a lot of people talking about it. And yeah, it really went far. And everyone was talking about how shocking this was in this day and age in modern Britain. But to be brutally honest, the discrimination like this happens all the time, even in the UK still now. Literally the day after that story about the lesbian couple broke, a friend of mine and Sarah's got attacked on London Bridge station platform just because she was sleeping on her girlfriend's shoulder. She was literally just sleeping and she got started on and had to leave the station. And reports are showing that homophobic hate crime is actually on the rise, so it is still scary to be lesbian, gay, bi or transgender or queer. So this is why it's so important for brands to really think about this stuff before they get involved. And it's also a great reason for everyone here to get involved in Pride in Brighton, which is happening in 2 weeks' time. Super excited. So smush that glitter rainbow into your hair, in your face, get involved and fly a rainbow flag high. Thank you for listening.